Hey everybody, Mark Bates here. I want to talk to you about a brand new PR that literally just landed about 4 minutes ago. Pretty excited about this one. It's going to change the way resource generators work a little bit in the next version of Buffalo, which is v0.11. And what this does is it allows us to handle HTML, JSON, and XML responses all from the exact same action without any kind of extra code needed. So here I have my classic Coke application. It's brand new. If you look at the git log here, there's nothing to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate this new resource here, which is a widget, which has a name and a body. And I'm just going to db migrate that here. Okay, so far everything pretty standard. I'm going to start this app up here, and let's look at the actions widgets that was generated for us here. So let's look at the list action, for example. Everything looks pretty much the same until we get down here. Now this very last line, matter of fact, we've got an extra line we don't need. We can remove that line. I'll update the PR. This last line here used to be something that looked like this. 200 r.html, and then you would have like widgets index.html, if I could spell HTML. You would also have, well, that line I just deleted, which would be this, right? Like this. There you go. So it would look something like that previously. Now we have this new auto method on our render engine, and that takes the Buffalo context. Actually, any context will do, but in this case, the Buffalo context. And the thing we want to render, in this case, our widgets. So if we go to our local host here, we go to 127. There we go. If I go to widgets, not a lot there, so let me create a new widget. We'll call this Hello World, and I will put a little lorem ipsum in here, like that. Great. So it all still continues to work. You can see all of our edits continue to work. If I remove that, you see we still got things, kind of working. Redirects are all happening properly. Now we're using this kind of autos you see here everywhere inside of our templates, inside of our actions here, even the 422 things. It's like we just had. So if I click edit, I'm just going to open up the inspector real quick here so we can see what happens. If I click save, we look at resources here, you can see that the response was a 422, which is exactly what we expect to happen. So that's all great. Why don't we try opening up Paw here? Paw is this little tool I use for doing kind of HTTP requests. It's really, really fancy. So if I do a get on /widgets here, you can see we get the HTML that we expect here, 200, and you can see the Hello World widget inside of our HTML. But now let's make a JSON request to widgets and see what we get. Whoa, look at that. We get JSON back. Pretty awesome. We can even change this to XML here and do the request again. And look at this. Now we got XML. What? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I can hear you just going crazy on the other end here. What's really cool too, you notice there is now an X-pagination header as well, which gives you pagination information if you set a paginator onto your context here. So if we go back to list, you can see we've got a paginator set. If I comment this out, and we hit it, you see it goes away. So that's very, very useful, I think, if you're making HTTP, like kind of apps with like a single, like JavaScript front ends, right? You make a JSON call and you get back a header that has pagination info as well as a JSON response. That is pretty much it. It's super crazy and awesome. You know, if you don't like what auto does, that's fine. Just go back to, you know, using the render JSON, render HTML, render XML methods as usual, because that's what those are there for. This stuff is kind of pretty hard coded in terms of the way it expects values to work. The way it expects your app to work, pretty much following kind of the resource REST style, especially for HTML stuff. So pretty excited about this. This is going to be, like I said, in the next version of Buffalo. And that's it for now. I hope you're as excited about this PR as I am. This video was brought to you by Gopher Guides. If you're an organization, conference, or user group that is looking for Go training, please visit gopherguides.com. All training is custom designed to match your educational needs.